About 8 months ago, I started YouTube, and finally, I'm going to tackle my biggest problem, and that's having a real dedicated filming space. The plan is to renovate my garage, so over the course of a couple videos, this chaos hopefully will turn into somewhat of a creative space. The first step is figuring out what I want the studio space to actually be, and I'm using Blender to kind of figure that out. Not because it's the right tool for design, but because I know it well, so that makes it the right tool for me. Since I measured the garage, I ended up just using those measurements to build a rough version of the garage in Blender. And for the most part, I use pre-made models for everything because I'm just planning. I don't need things to be exact, and this really is just for visualization. Now that I have the space laid out, it's time to actually design the set. But it's not only one set, it's going to be two. Well, I make a mix of film and 3D printing content, and YouTube is actually confused by the different interests on the channel. But to fix that, I'm going to start posting film and photo content on a different channel, The Scrappy Filmmaker, and DIY maker content, 3D printing stuff. All that stays here. So if you like filmmaking, you can subscribe there too. And my first film photo focused video on that channel will be posted soon too. Other than just having a different channel, I need to make each space feel like it fits the content I make in it. It shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all background. Okay, now that I know kind of the criteria of what I have to do, it's time to actually make it happen. So we're gonna start with the kind of film storytelling focused background. I think this should be kind of warm and inviting, more like a homey vibe instead of a garage. It should be calm and less chaotic than a makerspace. And while it might not be original, I think a wood feature wall, like one of those planks or slats, might be best because it fits that vibe exactly. My only concern is that these kind of panels might not be durable enough because I'm pretty sure most of them are not made from real wood, and if they are, they'll just be way too expensive. So now that I know I want wood plank walls, time to shop. And sadly, I was proven right. After I went to my local Lowe's, none of their options are solid wood. And I don't trust this for a few reasons. One, MDF is really bad with moisture and humidity, and that's what most of these are made out of. In a garage that isn't climate controlled, this 1000% is going to be an issue over time, whether it's a year, 2, 5, 10 years from now. And I don't like the idea of veneer anyway because it will get scratched at some point in a garage from a bin, a tool, a light stand, something. And for a wall that's gonna be on camera a lot, I don't wanna risk ruining what I put up. When I bang a light into a real wood wall, most likely nothing's really gonna happen. After the disappointing trip to Lowe's, I just Googled solid wood plank wall. And the first link that popped up, surprisingly, not really, was woodplank.com. And while it looks awesome, and this is exactly what I'm going for, it's out of my budget. For really good solid white oak, this is the price I'd expect. But since this channel, again, isn't making any money yet, I'm not sure what I can do. With all that being said, I found ways in the past to get some cool stuff for the channel by reaching out to companies, so I'm just gonna try reaching out to WoodPlank to see if they want to sponsor the slat wall. Worst case scenario, they say no, and I go with the cheaper option, but I'm a hope for the best, but expect the worst kind of person. So we'll see what they say. So I actually have great news. A few days ago, I reached out to WoodPlank and I asked if they'd want to send product, and they actually responded. They said if I shoot photos and videos of their products for them to use on social media, like their TikToks and Instagrams and stuff, then they'll sponsor the product and send it for free. So it's a win-win. My tiny, under 1,500 sub channel gets sponsored, and they get free video and photo services from a professional. I guess this is where I say something like, thank you to my sponsor WoodPlank for making this part of the project possible. Overall, I'm just happy that now I can use solid wood and not MDF because I have zero faith in its ability to hold up over time. So thank you, WoodPlank. Your stuff looks cool, but we'll see what I think when it actually gets here. Before we actually get into installing the slat wall, we have to do the demo. And you can tell just how chaotic and messy this space is. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this entire renovation in the first place. I started out shooting videos around my house, my backyard, my living room, my office, but it took more time to set the equipment up for a shot than the shot actually took. To fix that, I ended up moving everything to my garage to worry a little bit less about equipment around the house. But my garage just ended up being a place to store stuff. And right now it's just a messy space. That means I have to fix it all. After I ripped everything out of the walls, I had to patch up a lot of the holes, not everything, and then do a little bit of painting. This color is called Online by Sherwin-Williams, and the brand doesn't really matter, but the key thing is I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what shade of gray I want to use. For Sherwin-Williams, this was the closest to neutral gray that I could get in the shade of gray that I want. Just a heads up, this will not be an actual review because I've learned over the past 8 months, it wouldn't be fair to review something that I got for free. I made that mistake before, not gonna do it again. So I'm just letting you know that while I'm excited they sponsored this video and sent these wood slats, do your due diligence. But from my point of view, if you're looking at wood slats made from actual solid wood, consider woodplank.com. They're super easy to install. It took 2 hours or so. I cut them to size, used some liquid nails and 18 gauge brad nails, and since these are shiplap, they kind of slipped into each other really easily. Another side note, be better than me, and make sure you don't lift your safety glasses up and forget to put them down for nearly the entire installation. All right. Now that the wall's up, it's time to add the details to make this space actually feel like a homey, creative space. And nothing's as home like a plan. For this kind of thing, I usually use an auction site called RL Spear, and that mostly deals with stuff from movie sets after they're done shooting. They're local to Southern California, and I've got lights, movie gear, costumes, home decor, and now this fake plant for $30 from them. So I'm a big fan. Next, I added some shelves. I had these laying around in the garage for a few months for a completely different project, but they're cheap floating shelves from Lowe's. I haven't used them in a long time, so I figured why not? And if you haven't figured out yet, my hardware store of choice is Lowe's. Why? They have a veterans discount that doesn't run out. Home Depot limits the discount. So I like Lowe's. That's why for a lot of these kind of projects, I go there all the time. After the shelves, I added 2 more things, a table and a mini fridge. But for one very specific reason, I'm saving these for the next video. But I promise you there's a story behind it. All right, now we're done with the install. Now we're done with the install, but there's a few things I did to elevate it. So I used a giant 4x4 LED light to give it a more natural sunlight kind of feel. And then to sell that it's natural light, I added this window light, it's fake, it's a projection, onto the wood plank in the background to give it a more inviting feel and to tie the look together. But now that this backdrop's done, it's time to move on to the 3D printing DIY maker side of things, the scrappy creative, what this channel really is going to be more of. So in order to do that, it has to be super functional. It has to be a little bit more complex than this because this is all about looks and feels and vibes and that sort of thing. But the makerspace has to actually be a makerspace, really conducive to making things. So that's a little bit more complex. It's not quite ready yet. So there's going to be a part 2. Subscribe and look out for that in the next week or so. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.